Perfect.
Hey guys, so at the time of making this video, I am now 11 days post-op, which means my liquid post-op diet has finished. I'm very happy that it has finished. I'm ready for some more flavors in my life. That's what I'm ready for. So let's talk about current stats. Current stats are 136.7 kilos total, which is a loss of 14.8 kilos since I started my liver reduction diet, and that's 6.8 kilos I've lost since my op. So I'm averaging about 4 kilos a week at the moment, which is pretty good. It doesn't seem to have slowed down since my op. I haven't had as bigger jumps when I first started my liver reduction diet. It seemed to be like almost a kilo a day I was losing, and now it's somewhere between 300 grams, 600 grams per day that is going down, but it's still going down. That's the important thing. It won't always go down. There will be a stall. If you go onto any gastric group, they'll tell you about stalls. And that's something I know that's going to happen. Not looking forward to it happening, because obviously it's going to be concerning time. I think everyone is concerned when they have their first stall, but I know it's going to happen. So let's talk about the liquid diet. Like with my liver reduction diet, I tried to keep my liquid diet as simple as I possibly could. They issued a average day eating for a liquid diet, and I basically took that and ran with it every single day that I was on the liquid diet. It was by far the most simple thing to do. Also, the most simple thing to do is buying pre-made protein shakes. I was drinking UFit22, I think they're called. Got them in Asda for £1. Cheaper than I found most places online, unless you're talking a supplement shop where you're 5 or 6 days for delivery, and obviously you don't want to do that when you're hungry. They were quite tasty. There weren't any lumps or bumps in them. Very well pureed, very well mixed pre in the bottle. There was no lumps of protein powder or anything like that. Tastes pretty good. Chocolate and strawberry varieties. At least that's what they had in Asda. So you can change it between 2 flavors in a day. The day started off with 200 mils of protein drink for breakfast. Mid-morning snack was a milky coffee, which I increased the protein in it by adding skim milk powder, as well as using skim milk. So it really was a milky coffee, but pretty high on the protein scale as far as coffee goes. Lunchtime, you're allowed clear soups or cream soups. At least this is from my hospital, and that's one thing you always have to remember. Every surgery team seems to do things slightly differently, have a slightly different idea of how long you're supposed to do things, so please listen to your individual surgery teams. Don't take my word for it. Listen to the people that are going to be the people looking after you. I was done by St Mary's in Paddington, who, according to their walls, have won lots of awards for bariatric surgery, so I do think that their methods must be pretty good. So anyway, so lunchtime it came 200 mils of soup and 200 mils of protein drink. Then afternoon snack was another 200 mils of protein drink. Then dinner, 200 mils of soup and another 200 mils of protein drink. And then evening snack, guess what? Another 200 mils of protein drink. It takes a long time to put these liquids down when you're in the first days, especially the early days. And I really felt like I was continuously drinking, like non-stop. I thought, you know, as soon as I finished my lunch, it's, 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. If I'm going to have my snack, I have to have my snack now, because dinner's going to be in a couple of hours, and I know it's going to take me a couple of hours to drink this. I was told that don't force things down your throat, but I was also told that not hitting your protein requirement is something which leads to hair loss, which is something they don't advertise with gastric bypass surgeries, or gastric surgeries as a whole. So I'm really concerned about hair loss. Yeah, I'm 38 now. My hair is not getting thinner, it's getting grayer, it's not getting thinner, and I want to keep it getting grayer and not getting thinner. So I'm keeping my proteins up. But anyway, that's all behind, that's all done. It's a hard 10 days, but do it. You have to follow it. Don't try and do things early, don't try and jump ahead. So then, 3 days ago, it was my 8-day hospital check, and I had to go and have my staples removed. Not every hospital uses staples from what I've seen on forums. A lot of places use glue or whatever it is. Having your staples removed is completely painless, absolutely completely painless. I did not feel a thing. If your staples are itchy, that means that they're ready to come out as well. That's a good sign, because your body is kind of pushing them towards the surface. They literally take this little, like, almost pair of scissors thing, put it in the middle and pinch it, and it just makes the sides of the staples just flick out and come out of your skin. Really does not hurt at all. Then they put the little suture dressings across the wounds so they don't open up. They told me not to remove them and just wait for them to fall off. I'm quite a hairy guy, and I think I've got one hole with the dressing still there. All the rest has fallen off because, you know, it was laid on top of hair. So as soon as you have a shower, water gets in there and it just takes everything off. But they're all sealed, they're all closed. They all look clean, they all look healing. So all good stuff. So now I've finished the liquid diets. Actually, before we talk about the next stage, I want to talk about something which I've seen a lot of people asking comments on various Facebook groups, and I want to put my 2 cents worth in about it, and that's it, telling people. When I was first referred for bariatric surgery, and I was waiting 3 years, I felt ashamed, I felt embarrassed, and it was something that if someone didn't need to know, I wasn't planning on telling them. There was a couple of very close friends that I told, but it did make me feel like I'm doing this because I'm a failure, because I don't have self-control or willpower, and none of that is true. None of that is true at all. There is absolutely fuck all wrong with having bariatric surgery. Bariatric surgery is not easy. It's not a quick fix. It's not a get out of jail free card. It's hard work. It's pain. It's suffering. It's being away from your family. It's not being able to do things that your family are doing. It's having to make every decision in your life around it for at least the first 3 months. And then after that, all your decisions going forwards are going to be around, can you have that? Is it enough protein? It's going to be put hard, fast rules on you that you cannot get away from. And there is no shame in it at all. There was one lady on a Facebook group who put a post asking whether people thought she should tell people. And she was worried about the more judgmental people in her life, specifically her mother-in-law. And you know what I say? I say, if people can't accept you for who you are, fuck them. If people can't accept you for what you've done, fuck them. You're doing this for the reason of making your life better. You are doing this to make your life healthier. You are doing this to live longer for you and for your family. You are doing this to have more energy for you and your family. I'm doing this so I can spend more time with my daughter, so I get to see my daughter grow up, so I get to see her get married, go to university, all those wonderful things. Where if I continued on the path I was before that, I would probably have a heart attack in my 50s, and doubtfully I would see any of that. So people want to judge me for that? It's your fucking choice. You don't like it? Fuck off. You like it? Fantastic. You accept it? Fantastic. If you're the sort of person that's going to judge someone on getting treatment to make their life better and make their life healthier, you are a disgusting individual and you do not deserve to know that person in the first place. That is the way that I'm looking at it. I will tell everyone. If anyone wants to know, I will tell them. If people want to know the truth about it, I will tell them. Because there's all these misconceptions about bariatric surgery. There's all these ideas that it's a magic wand, that someone waves on you and you have a couple of days of surgery, a couple of days painful after surgery, and the next day you wake up and you're 70 kilos lighter. Well, it doesn't fucking work like that. Anyone who's watching this video, who's had it, knows that I'm right, and anybody watching this video who started researching it probably also knows that I'm right. And anyone who's watching this video who's never even thought about it in their life, trust me, it's not easy. It's not nice knowing that if you eat or drink something too quickly, you could end up in pain for half an hour, having diarrhea and vomiting. You know, it's not nice thinking, how are you going to go to this party and eat and drink? You know, I am the party guy. When I went out with my work, I was the one buying massive rounds of drinks. I was the one down in beers in 4 seconds, dancing all night, and I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. But what's more important, the opinion of other people of me, or me being there to spend time with my wife and with my daughter? I know which choice I'm going to make every time. Now, it's going to be hard for a lot of people to have that kind of attitude for it. But what I say is confidence comes with practice. So tell one person that you don't really care about, that you wouldn't have normally told, see how it goes. You might be surprised by their reaction. You might not be as well, but you might be surprised by their reaction. So, should you say or should you stay quiet? Completely your choice. But I would say it's part of you now. Wear it like a badge of honor and tell everyone you want. Okay, so now it's the pureed stage. What have I learned from my 1 day of pureed stage so far? Well, first of all, I've learned it's fantastic to have some more choices for food. Oh, very good. Second thing I've learned is don't try and overcomplicate things. I like to keep things simple, as I keep saying. So I decided yesterday that I was going to cook big batches of things, which I could then portion up into little pots. Some of them could be frozen, some of them could be left in the fridge, and I can take them as and when I need them. So my pureed diet is as follows. Obviously they give you choices on the diet plan, but as repetitive as it is and as boring as it is, as I keep saying, I like to keep it simple. So for breakfast, I'm having 1 biscuit of protein Weetabix with a lot of milk, smashed up into pieces, so it becomes puree. 1 piece of that will fill you up more than anything. You might want to try half and see how that goes. 1 seems to work perfectly for me. Just remember, you have to eat slowly, very slowly. Something which most big people aren't very good at, myself included, definitely. Then for mid-morning snack, it's 200 mils of protein drink again, so my UFit 22s come in handy for that. Then lunchtime, it's 2 tablespoons of pureed protein sauce. It's half a tablespoon of a carbohydrate sauce and a half a tablespoon of vegetables. So with my veggies, I love my spices, so I just did like a big pan of frozen vegetables, which I added into some garam masala, some paprika, some cayenne pepper, a few things to make it spicy, a little bit of water, and then just cooked that all off, chucked it through a blender, and it's a paste. Perfect. For my carbohydrate sauce, I made a pan of mashed potatoes, chucked that through a blender. Perfect. My protein sauce, I made a mess of. and I know what mistake I did. I set out trying to make a paste, not trying to make food. So the amounts of water that I put in, I ended up using some gravy granules just to try and thicken it a little bit, because it was just like gloppy, horrible water. I put some thickener in there, I put some gravy granules in there, and the truth is that I made a protein paste that I have no idea how much or how little protein is actually in it. Thankfully, because of the other high protein products I'm having, I'm still hitting 60 grams a day, even if the protein in this is like 0. And that's what I need here. So thank God for high protein products. But what I'm going to do for the next batch, and what I suggest you guys do, is make a meal. Make a chicken meal. So for my next batch, one of my favorite things to cook before was chicken fajitas. So chicken in a sauce. So I'm just going to make more chicken in a sauce and blend it. Simple as that. Last time I poached the chicken breast, and I thought I'd put it in with a little bit of water and some gravy granules and make like a roast chicken kind of tasting thing, and it went wrong. And now I've got to eat that for about the next 7 days. That was from one small chicken breast. Another thing you need to remember is sizes, portioning. I made enough vegetables to make meals, so 2 meals a day, for I think it's 10 days I have portioned up, plus I've got a container filled with now frozen pureed vegetables, and the same with my mashed potato, and that was from just 3 large potatoes. So yeah, that's something to rely on, something to think about. Okay, so moving on from that, after you've had your lunch, you then have your mid-afternoon snack, and it's a list of things for mid-afternoon snack. I chose some high-protein yogurts. It's 150 milliliters or 150 grams or something that you're allowed. These pots are exactly that, and each pot contains 20 grams again of protein. And they were, I think it was 4 for £3 from Asda. That's perfect. When I was choosing these yogurts, I was looking at them and I was thinking, 4 yogurts for £3, that's expensive. These yogurts down here, I can get 4 for £1. Why won't? But then put it in perspective. Your main meals are so small and last for so long that spending more on protein products, you will save on your main meals massively. One single chicken breast, 150 grams of chicken, made 10 days worth of meals, 20 meals. And that, I actually bought 2 chicken breasts, but one of them are completely messed up and threw away. That cost me £1.50, I think, or £2, something like that, for those 2 chicken breasts. 3 potatoes for 10 days worth of mashed potato, and more than 10 days worth of mashed potato. About 90p's worth of vegetables. So don't kick yourself in the stomach for choosing a high protein snack, which is actually full of protein and costs a little bit more, because it doesn't matter. Just get it done, okay? Get your proteins in, make sure you're hitting your proteins. So then, yeah, after my protein yogurt, it's then dinner. The only difference between dinner and lunch is you're allowed up to 1 tablespoon of veg and 1 tablespoon of carbohydrates. I'll be completely honest, with my pre-portioned ones, I just did a tablespoon of everything on both sides. Lunch and dinner, I didn't bother reducing it for my lunch. I'm type 2 diabetic, and there's not a lot of carbs and stuff. My blood sugars have been hovering around 5 pretty much since I came off the liquid diet. Obviously protein drinks, you need to be careful with how much sugar's in them. The UFIT ones seemed perfect. It was just enough to keep me out of having a hypo, and my sugars, I think the max I went to was like 7.5 once. You know, most of the time it was mid-6, mid-5s. So exactly where it should be. So equipment that I would suggest that you make sure you have for your pro diet is a decent blender. Just a hand blender, 500 watts or so, will destroy most things with ease. Lots of containers, because the first time you cook it, I guarantee you're going to overportion it. Now this is just my way of doing it, so I know what I'm having. Um, I think in a couple of days, one of the things that I used to cook for the family quite often was spaghetti bolognese. I think in a couple of days I'm gonna do a spaghetti bolognese for the family, and I'm gonna take part of it to one side, and blend that for me, so I can actually have a meal with my family. Although my meal will be very small, and it will be mostly the meat source rather than the carbohydrates. But it'd be nice to have a family meal, as opposed to at the moment. My wife saw how much weight I lost on my liver reduction diet and has now duplicated that for herself. So she's eating lots of chicken and veggies. And we tend to cook separate things for our 5-year-old. Yeah, but that's the way it is. So it'd be nice to bring the family back together for a proper meal. I might do that in a day or two to surprise everyone. Okay, so let's talk about the realities after your surgery. There's one specific reality I want to talk about. Bowel movements. They're hard. You should be prescribed when you leave hospital various things. One of the things you'll be prescribed, or at least my team prescribed me, was Lactulose. Use it. Use it. Especially when you're on the liquid diet, there is really little to no fibre in that diet at all, and it hurts. It definitely hurts to get things moving. So Lactulose, needed, very much needed. What else can I suggest? Take things easy. On days where I've decided to walk too far or do too much, I've regretted it, usually at night when I'm trying to sleep. Only happened a couple of times. So take things easy. Follow what your doctors say. Take time off work. Look after yourself and continue on your journey. That's all I've got to say today. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for the feedback that I've had from the videos on different Facebook groups. It's been fantastic. We'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye.